I want to share with you another of the hard skills. I call them hard skills. This is the ability in our sport to be innovative and creative. This is the rich vein of success that leads our teams to the victory podium. Now, you don't have to know anything about my sport to follow the three examples I'm going to show you. But I'm going to show you the examples of the three teams who are considered the most creative and innovative in our sport. Three teams. The very first one is Team Lotus from England. It's a British team. Mario Andretti won his world championship driving a Lotus in 1979. But in the early 60s, they brought this funny-looking thing to Indy. Anybody know what was funny about this thing when they took it to Indy in the early 60s? They put the engine in the back. No one ever did anything like that at Indy. The logic was, if we take the weight of this lump of an engine, put it into the back of the car, right behind the driver, more of the weight will be between the wheelbase. The car will therefore handle better. Therefore, it'll go around the four corners faster, which it did. They completely dominated their very first Indy 500 and went back to Europe and dominated Formula One while everybody scrambled to put their engines into the back so their cars could handle better. The second one I'll show you is the great McLaren team. They're still active in Formula One today. They have a partnership with Honda. But McLaren in 1980 heard about an American company in Houston, Texas called Hercules. They had just developed a product called carbon fiber. It was promoted as being lighter and stronger than steel. Well, McLaren went to Houston, Texas, had a meeting and said, could you build a racing car for us out of this space-age material? Because if you can, and we have a car that's lighter and stronger than anything we've ever had before, we'll steal such a jump on the competition. 2 years later, this all-carbon fiber Formula One car debuted, and guess what happened? They completely dominated for the next 4 years, while everybody else scrambled to build carbon fiber Formula One cars. Let me show you one more example. This is the great Ferrari team. Second best known merchandise name in the world next to Coca-Cola. Ferrari in the early 70s built a transverse gearbox. Don't have to know what that is. But a Formula One car has 8 forward gears. They're all in a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all in a line in a longitudinal gearbox. Ferrari said, why don't we take this longitudinal lump of weight, turn it sideways, transverse, put it right behind the engine, between the wheelbase. Car will handle and go around corners better like the Lotus did in the 60s. They built it. They dominated for years while everybody else scrambled to build transverse gearboxes for their racing cars. Now, the reason I showed you these three nameplates, these three teams, do you think it's a coincidence? They are regarded as the most creative and innovative in our sport. Do you think it's a coincidence? In the last 67 years of Formula One, these three teams have won more races and more world championships than every other team name added together in 67 years. And they're the most creative and innovative. There was a time when innovation violated tradition. We are now in an era where innovation is creating tradition because we need it so fast, and it comes and goes so fast. And the lifeblood of any successful company in the future, in the 10 years that's coming, where the speed of business will get faster, is very much like our sport. It is anchored with those people who are innovative and creative. Now, let me ask everybody here another question. Knowing your industry, knowing where you work, what you do, who you do it with, hands up those who think that they're fairly well positioned as regards being innovative and creative within your industry for the next 10 years. Hands up those who think you are. I see 1, I see 2, I see 3, 4, 5. I see very few. But for those people who raise their hand, allow me to disagree with you just for the next couple of minutes.